Hey there everyone, hope you're all doing well. So a couple things before I get started. This video probably won't be the same as my other ones. I pretty much say that every time though, so who knows. But when I started writing the script, I had it going in a much different direction. I wanted to focus on the fatigue that I was experiencing in relation to online media. But after I started to write the script and weave a story, I realized that I needed to come back and change the intro. And now I still will probably make a video specifically about online fatigue and how I feel about that sometimes and how it impacts me, watching TVs and movies that all end up being the same. But for now, I want to talk through my search for information and what I enjoy learning online. YouTube generally continues to make money the longer you stay on the site. So they try to do a good job, as much of a good job as they can, guiding you to content that you'd be interested in watching. But at the same time, they aren't always suggesting new content, and they may end up serving videos that are so similar that, it's very easy to get bored with them. And this is what happens a lot of times with me. So I want to talk through a channel that I did find that was a major breath of fresh air for me and why it means so much, especially finding it in this time. So there are two things that I really prioritize when watching online content, and this comes out of where I come from in my history. I grew up in a pretty conservative environment, and most of what I learned was what you probably could consider traditional. Now, I definitely don't think this is a bad thing in any way, and if that's the place that you're in and you feel like you align with more conservative opinions and ideas, 100% okay, that's totally fine. For me, through my journey, I probably wouldn't say that I'm in that spot, but I understand that this is a journey and that a lot of times people continue to develop opinions over time and ideas off of experiences and, understandings that they've gotten. And so, I'm totally okay with that. Maybe, my opinion will change over time, who knows? Back to the story though. My parents were, pretty conservative and still are kind of conservative in a sense, but they still counseled me to learn and be able to defend what I was talking on, in conversation. Now, it wasn't like the defend that's like arguing with people, but it was kind of the defend in the sense, well, hey, I have this information, I know this information, let me kind of bring this to you so we can have a positive and kind of actual beneficial conversation on it. But they would talk me through basic argument techniques and show me the difference between the things that they grew up believing and the things that they believe now. So even though they were still pretty traditional in a way, they kind of gave me a foundation to make sure that I could at least put some proof behind what I was talking on. And this is kind of what created the basis of reason for the beliefs that I hold today, even though they're not the same as the ones that I had growing up. And while my parents to this day may be a little bit more conservative leaning than I am, as I mentioned before, this kind of background is really what gave me a good setup to where, I went afterwards, especially in college and, even a little bit in high school. I started to learn how to support what I was thinking on from a ton of different angles. And for the things I didn't have a lot of support for, I continued to question and research until I did, or would just put aside that idea and hold on to it till later. I didn't want to be the person that believed in something without any reason, and I wanted to make sure that I always was open to new ideas and new thoughts because I felt like I could always be wrong. I don't know everything, and that's heavily evident when I go try to watch some quantum, theory videos and stuff like that, but what I try to do is be open to understanding new things, and when I study those, be ready to be wrong, in the sense that maybe the way that I took it or the way that I understood it was wrong, and I just took it in the wrong way, and somebody may have a better understanding or a better way of explaining it, and I should be able to, instead of holding on to my opinion, be able to let that go and understand it from their point of view because, genuinely, if it's reasonably or logically more sound, then I should subscribe to that kind of thing. And this is kind of the spirit that I try to carry in everyday conversations. I want to go into conversations trying to learn and understand things from a new perspective, instead of being somebody that just goes in thinking that I have everything figured out. But what I've noticed is that there's a ton of people out there that aren't having deep conversations just to have them. Most people keep their beliefs a little closer to their heart, and that's totally understandable. A lot of people have based their beliefs on experiences that are near and dear to their personal growth, and sometimes going through those things is kind of emotionally taxing. So no way is this a problem. It's just something that I've noticed over time. But for me, I want to continue to discuss and learn things, and I understand that some people aren't in that spot, but I continue to search for people that are, that information, movies, TV, television, whatever. Like I was saying earlier, I get kind of bored hearing the same thing over and over. I like hearing new opinions and people that are open to this kind of thing, talking about deeper topics that cover a lot of ideas, and that try to give people a different perspective. And again, it's just something that's different for me that I enjoy doing. And so when I try to watch movie and TV and stuff like that, that's what I look for, is that kind of ability or that want to, look at things from a different perspective or be open to discussion on topics. And that's when I stumbled across T1J. T1J kind of handles some topics that are a little bit more taboo or a little harder to talk about. And, it's based in a lot of experience that he has in the past and kind of how he's grown up. But what I love about this guy's channel is how open he is to talking about these things and how he's comfortable covering the things that he's changed his opinion on. Again, this isn't something that everyone's into, and it's not something that I think that everyone's going to relate with, but I appreciate that he's willing to present his logic and his reasoning, and he doesn't just do everything from his feelings. He really tries to back up what he's talking on. And he points out how his opinion has changed over time, and he talks about how hot-headed he used to be and how that's changed and how he understands that it'll continue to change. He shows that he's open to these ideas and opinions and takes time developing his understanding instead of just, basing it on whatever whim or article or small piece of information that he's got. And this is really a breath of fresh air to me. Now, I do want to say that I don't think that everybody should go watch him or that you should go and subscribe because you'll love his content. You'll quickly figure out if you like the way that he talks about things, and if that's not something that you like, then don't worry about it. For me, I like it because it gives me something to work through and think on, and again, I love learning. I love being able to see things from different perspectives, and as much as I try to do that with you guys and offer you new perspectives through videos, I appreciate when I get that myself because that's what I really enjoy. What I'm trying to say, I guess, is that there are a lot of people out there, and they've all come from different backgrounds and different life experiences. And for me, I love hearing about those because it helps me understand where people are coming from, and in turn help me better support and care for them in the future. And while entertainment is amazing and sometimes dumb and pointless and that kind of stuff is great for kind of just passing time, I get bored of that stuff really quickly, even on YouTube and TikTok and all the other platforms that I frequent daily. And sometimes I just want to get back to content that helps me see things in a new way. I want to feel what other people feel and experience their experiences, see things from their point of view. And it's really nice once in a while when I stumble across a channel that's actually out there trying to do that for people, offering a handout to people and giving them new insight on the world and how the world works for other people out there. At the end of the day, this hasn't probably been as helpful as I've wanted it to be. I always try to offer a call to action or a way to apply the things that I've talked on, but at least for now, if you're looking to continue to grow as a person and continue to understand more about the world, people like T1J exist. And of course, T1J is amazing and I found him recently, but really it started with people, that I met at school or hit it off with. And, me sitting down with them and taking some time to say, hey, I'm going to ask some bad questions, but help me see things from your perspective and give me some grace in this topic so that, I can understand where you're coming from. There's a lot of hurt that people experience on the daily basis. And, I don't want to accidentally hit on something that hurts people or something that they're uncomfortable with or, that they really hold near and dear to their heart. So learning things from other people's perspectives helps me kind of be in the know in this sense and handle certain topics softly for people that it's going to, impact really hard. Or just be informed on what's going on and what other people experience in the world in their day-to-day lives. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are hurting, that are broken, that need some help. And there's also people that just want to tell their story, that have had weird or interesting life experiences and feel like they could help other people, maybe offer a new perspective on life. And what I've noticed is there's not a ton of people out there that just are willing to listen, that want to be an open ear to these kinds of people and be there as they go through what they've experienced in life. And so what I want to do as a person is be able to be that open ear and be there for other people. And through that, of course, I learn and we grow together. But at the end of the day, I guess the whole reason that I try to offer new perspectives on the topics that I cover is that I want to be able to kind of show people that there's more out there. And by understanding new perspectives and diversifying one's understanding of the world, it helps everybody treat each other better and understand each other better and kind of be there for one another when, stuff happens that may be a little bit more sensitive for one person or another. Maybe I rambled there a little bit at the end, but that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully this is something that piqued your interest or something that you're wanting to kind of think through a little bit more. If you have any questions or comments or, ideas to talk about relating to this conversation, then feel free to, drop those in the comments below. Besides that, like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.